Hummingbird Project presents Hummingbird and the Forest 2. The Return. One fine day, the animals were grateful for the abundance of food and water available in the restored forest. However, the owl, observing the happiness of his friends there, sadly remembered the forest where he had been born and raised with his family, which was now completely degraded. The possum, noticing the owl's sadness, asked,
"Why are you sad, noble colleague?"
I was here remembering my old home, the forest where we were born. After the forest was destroyed by humans, we had to leave to find another place to live. We were very lucky. We found this restored area, and we are grateful for that. But this is not our home,
replied the owl with a downcast look. The toucan, hearing the owl's speech, commented,
"Do you remember the conversation the hummingbird had with us when he found us in the devastated forest with nothing to eat and no water to drink? Well, he had mentioned that a human had developed a project called Green El Dorado, which had successfully restored an area of remaining forest, generating a great abundance of food, plenty of fresh water, and therefore a great quality of life for all the animals."
The tapir agreed with the toucan's speech and added,
"We need to talk to the hummingbird and..."
But before the tapir could finish his thought, the owl interrupted him with a raised look and a firm voice.
We will look for the human and show him our devastated home so he can restore it, so that in a short time we will return to our original home.
Optimistic, the toucan commented,
"Good idea, owl. My friends, wait, because I'm going to look for the hummingbird."
The toucan then flapped its wings. After a few hours, he managed to find the infamous hummingbird, savoring the nectar of a beautiful monkey apricot flower. The toucan then told the bird about the argument his friends had had regarding the devastated area where they had once lived. The hummingbird immediately responded,
"You can count on my help. I'll go look for the human right now. He's usually in a restored area a few hours away. Toucan, you can return to the Green El Dorado and tell all the animals that as soon as I find him, I'll take him to the area you once lived."
The hummingbird, flapping its wings swiftly, set out on its mission. After an exhausting journey, it reached its destination. However, after some time searching for the human, it asked the howler monkey feeding in the canopy of a tree,
"Have you seen the human who recovers degraded areas?"
The howler monkey then looked at the hummingbird and said,
"The name of the human you seek is Mr. Onipep. I haven't seen him in this area for a few days. While my family and I were migrating to this forest, we saw him working on restoring a devastated forest not far from here."
The hummingbird then asked,
"Do you happen to remember the location, my friend?"
"Yes, I remember. Fly north. Once you're through the forest, a little further ahead, you'll reach the spot where we last saw you,"
replied the howler monkey. Following the primate's instructions, the hummingbird flew at great speed and relentlessly until it reached the spot where the howler monkey had spotted Mr. Onipep. Upon spotting Mr. Onipep, the hummingbird swooped down and flapped its wings, hovering in midair before the human. Unable to understand what was happening, the hummingbird scratched its head as it watched the distressed hummingbird. The hummingbird, attempting to communicate, began flying in circles around Mr. Onipep, then in a straight line. The human realized that the bird wanted to be followed. Curious to know what was happening, the human followed the hummingbird until they reached their destination. Shocked by the sight he had seen, Mr. Onipep finally understood the reason for the little flyer's distress, as he had never seen such deforestation in person. While the human roamed the devastated area, analyzing the possibilities for restoration, the hummingbird flew toward the Green El Dorado in search of its friends to introduce them to Mr. Onipep. Upon reaching the green El Dorado, the hummingbird cried out at the top of its lungs.
Hurry here, my friends. I found Mr. Onipep. He's already at your house. Come on. We can help in some way with the recovery of the devastated area.
The animals' eyes shone with joy. At that very moment, they all set off at a run to get to the area where they were born as quickly as possible. The animals, rushing to their original home, encountered a pair of agoutis with their 3 chicks, who were feeling hopeless. The hummingbird, observing the sadness of that rodent family, asked,
Friends, where are you going? Dear colleague, we are looking for another home to live in, as it is no longer possible to raise our puppies here. Have you ever heard of the Green El Dorado? We've heard some comments, but I don't think it's possible. You're mistaken, my friend. The Green El Dorado is already a reality. Mr. Onipep, responsible for developing the project, is currently analyzing the entire devastated area with his team so he can begin restoring your homes.
There was a brief silence among the animals, and a glimmer of hope dawned on the rodent family, who decided to follow the other animals. Upon arriving at the site, they saw Mr. Onipep discussing with his team the strategies to be adopted to transform the devastated area into a beautiful forest. From that day on, all the animals in the forest could finally live happily and in harmony with nature again. Projeto Beija Flor da Amazônia.
Do you happen to remember the location, my friend?
Yes, I remember. Fly north. Once you're through the forest, a little further ahead, you'll reach the spot where we last saw you.